live because it's very important that we're going to make some announcements of tomorrow's matchups. We have some special guests that have joined us today, and then I'm going to turn it over to our Athenaeum director, who's going to work with the students later on this afternoon through Athenaeum. So again, I want to officially welcome everybody to the 2021 GDX3 program. Wow, we are barreling through this summer, and if you can believe it, we're just about finished with day 2. And I want to take this moment to congratulate all the students. If you could do me a favor, just give yourselves a big round of applause and that reaction in there. I always love to see that, some interaction on there. I see 5 people, 7, 8, 11, 12, awesome, and a thumbs up. I even got the thumbs up, nice. But I wanted to thank you for the great work that you're doing. Part of the work that we do and allows us to fulfill our mission as an organization is when we've got great partners like State Farm and the State Farm Foundation, who have been for the last 4 years working with NHI and providing resources available so that we can fulfill our mission, and more importantly, focusing on the GDX program as we are looking at community development as a means of really seeding our communities out there for future generations of leaders that will transform these communities over the next 20 years. I also want to thank Colorado State University Pueblo, who has been a supporter of NHI. And before they were CSU Pueblo, they were the University of Southern Colorado, and they actually hosted our Southwest Great Debate many years ago. So it was great when we got reacquainted with ourselves a couple of years ago as they hosted our first Colorado Great Debate in 2019, but they remain committed to NHI and our communities. And so I want to thank our digital host, CSU Pueblo. If you are a volunteer in terms of a judge or tournament staff, if you could do me a favor, if you can raise your hand, hit that reaction and raise your hand, because I think it's important that we see all the volunteers who have been able to make this possible. If you are a judge, if you're tournament staff, tournament director, a head coach, a project administrator, click on that reaction and raise your hand so that you can pop up to the front as I'm watching everybody explore to where that, thank you, Tracy, where that button is. Thank you, Catalina, Jorge. This work is really done through the efforts of our volunteers. It's through committed members thank you, Victoria, who come back year after year to replenish our reservoir of leaders in their local communities and feed them into NHI as we have programs. And so I want to just thank you all for the great work that you're doing in your local regions as trainers, as volunteers, as judges, and Jorge for stepping in and being our tournament director. And when we talk about going lean means that you've got a very, very limited amount of staff. And Jorge has been operating with the lean staff, but doing an amazing job. So our tournament director, let's give him a big round of applause as a congratulations and a thank you, Jorge Lee, for the great work that you are doing. I want to thank our project administrators again. And, for those students that this is your first time involved with NHI, please know that this is only the first part of your journey. Your book has yet to be written. This is only the first chapter, and maybe it's the second chapter, meaning the first chapter is what you did in preparation that led up to the GDX, and your second chapter is what you've been doing yesterday, today, and tomorrow, which will soon be written. And then the next couple of chapters will be what you decide to do with this experience and this opportunity moving forward. We want you to stay involved at the local level and return back and help us recruit new students and serve as a volunteer, as someone who's investing in your community, identifying the next crop of leaders, and then you investing in them and your time and resources so that they've got their playground, they have a platform to develop and hone their skills so that one day they return back to their communities and really shape it for a better future for our communities. So moving on after this, you will be invited to go to the LDZ, which is your second program. And you think that this has been interesting, wait till you get to the LDZ, which is an 8-day program. So you will be housed on a college campus for 8 days. And I'm not going to spill too much about that, but you will be getting information soon. But also, you also have the opportunity to return back to a summer program of a Great Debate. When we go back live in person, we'll change that name back to the Great Debate. And you can serve as a judge, as tournament staff, as program staff. It is up to you, but it will require you to stay involved. So where are we today? Today, we've just finished, yesterday we finished rounds 1 and 2, and this morning you finished rounds 3 and 4. And our tournament director has been working diligently to add up all your scores. So regardless of whether you lost in a round, or you had a forfeit, or you had a bye, the tournament staff works on tabulating all these scores to determine a ranking order for us to move into a single elimination debate tournament tomorrow. So let's say we can start off with the clean slate that yesterday and today were just merely practice rounds. Tomorrow, it will be up to you to determine whether through your effort will end up in the finals, will be streamed live on Twitch. So they've dropped the lowest score, dropped the highest score, averaged the middle two. If there was a tie, then they took the average of all 4 rounds and they worked through their kind of breaking of the brackets that way. If you received a bye, that means you had a victory and they took the average score of your other 3 rounds and put that in there. Remember, every step of the GDX program, you are contributing points towards your team. The team with the most points at the end of the program will be crowned the 2021 GDX champion. So who will it be? Will it be Corpus Christi? Will it be El Paso? Will it be Mexico, North Texas, Midwest? Put it in that chat section if you believe that it will be your region. See, North Texas is quick to put in there that they must be ready to be crowned champions. So congratulations to you all, and we'll see how this plays out tomorrow. So I'm going to ask that we slow up on the chat there because I was told it lags things here. But if my Julio, if you are available, if you can help me do something up, we're going to spotlight a few individuals and we're going to put you on the spot, because that's what we do here at NHI. So this organization, in July 20th, we will celebrate 43 years. That will be the anniversary. And we have 2 individuals who are our co-founders who are going to address you here momentarily. But they had a vision 43 years ago that, and I share with students all the time, that this organization operates with the fundamental belief that you all have the capacity to shape entire communities out there. And you needed an organization that was going to create that opportunity and that network and that playground for you to develop and hone your skills so that you can begin that transformation of any community or wherever you decide to serve. And so we've got lots of alumni that return year after year as volunteers or project administrators. But I wanted to, this is a surprise to my dad and Gloria there. We've got some individuals on here, and Julio, and if you can spotlight them, first is Bella Rodriguez. And we have something that we call legacies here at NHI. And a legacy is someone who went to our programs in the past who now have children who are now participating as members of the organization. And Bella's parents are George Rodriguez, who went to the 1984 Texas LDZ, and her mother, Michelle Sines, who went to the 1983 Texas LDZ. Both sit on the board, and Michelle is our board chair. So Bella, so keep Bella here on the camera. So thank you, Bella, for your legacy here. Next is Frida Gonzalez. And Frida Gonzalez is the daughter of Jen Olguin, who went to the 1988 New Mexico LDZ. Frida, thank you so much for carrying on that torch of the legacy. So we've got 2 legacy members, but there's more. Next is Luke Santoni. So if we can put Bella back up there and keep Frida up there, and Luke Santoni. And Luke, I went to the LDZ with your parents, Frank Santoni and Colleen, 1990 Texas LDZ. And I still remember years ago, every day and every moment in memory. And I will forever have a closeness with your dad because we had such a great program over there. And our 4th and final legacy is Mark Violante. So Mark Mark is the son of Monica Mills, who went to the 1988 New Mexico LDZ. And if you don't have your camera turned on, then there we go. Thank you, Mark. Then I think it's important that we recognize our legacies here. So let's give them a big round of applause. Get that little reaction in there, and applause. So thank you all for your involvement and carrying on the legacy. And it's so great to see. Luke, I should have coordinated with your dad because my daughter went to the LDZ last year. So, and that would have been cool that we had our kids going to the LDZ this year, so many years later. But at this time, I'd like to turn it over to our co-founders to give some words so that you all have the opportunity to meet them. And Ernesto Nieto and Gloria de Leon, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you all to say a few words. You all are on mute. So you're on mute right now, sorry.
There you go. First of all, I'm always excited, and Ernesto and I have take such pride in being able to do this via Zoom, because it is probably the only way we would have met you this summer if it had not been on camera. And Tracy, I know you're there, and I've got some news for you. And for all of you, Luke, you know, whose mom went to the New Mexico LDZ, we are going to be relaunching the New Mexico LDZ in the summer of 2022. We are returning back to New Mexico. It is a very spiritual, loving, wonderful environment. And we've been working on this project for quite a while. And Senator Michael Padilla from New Mexico, who is an NHI alum from 1988, he was elected lieutenant governor then, has informed us that we will be building a partnership, not only to do the New Mexico program, the LDZ program, but we plan to expand it and also have in the state the New Mexico Great Debate and eventually the Collegiate World Series, all located there, which will draw students not just from New Mexico, but students from West Texas and from Arizona and Colorado. It'll become that kind of regional program. The other thing that you need to know is that, you know, Ernie and I have not been attending programs. We're getting a little older and we don't travel as much. There's a lot of reasons. I'm probably going to be sounding bells as I go through airports because I had a hip replacement, you know, but here's the deal. God willing, and as they say, the creek don't rise, Ernesto and I will be at the New Mexico LDZ next year. We will be returning in the role of advisors and training new staff. And we hope that all of you would be encouraged, and you can encourage your other friends to come and see us at the New Mexico LDZ, because it's going to be a great program. Now, let me segue to why I love the Great Debate. And I'm glad that Frida is here. Frida knows that we've been actually spending at least once a year, the last several weekends, going to the Frida Fest in San Antonio. Her mom and I have been long friends. She went to the New Mexico LDZ. Frida's mom was elected the House Speaker at the New Mexico LDZ. So this is what legacies are about. So when we talk about legacies, you know, we want you to know that this is the first step. And so it's not just about the first step in your NHI journey and the fact that you're going to awaken that spirit and that person in you and find that voice and find out what it is to be persuasive and assertive and to have the ability to express all those ideas and find that heart and find that voice. And so this is where it starts. And it doesn't matter whether it's a huge program or a small program. It is about the coaching. It is about someone taking a particular interest in you and making sure that we find what that strength is that's going to make you excel. So I'm very excited. I'm very excited to be here with you. I know it's day 2. I'm sure that we'll have an opportunity to at least view the finale and see which one of you are going to be the winners, or the teams that are going to be the winners. But again, believe me, 43 years later, the thrill is still here. We love meeting the next generation. And it's important to us because we know that you, just like Jorge Lee, I mean, you're going to be running these programs. So enjoy them for what they are. I've always said that what NHI is about you realizing that we're asking you to play a little game, roll the dice, and have a lot of fun, because that's the way we expect you to learn. We expect you to learn from experiencing things, from getting in there, from going through the mental models. So congratulations. I'm excited. Let's see how this tournament runs out in the next couple of days. And here's Ernesto, our president and founder.
Thank you. Good morning, Chris, my son. Thank you for the haircut. Hello, Julio. Good to see you again. I know you've been working your butt off. Tracy, we can never say enough thanks to you and your daughter and everything you do in El Paso. Jorge Lee, you are an amazing guy. Bella, I'm almost brought to tears whenever I see you.
So big.
Because I've known you since you were a little baby. And to all of you, I want to say thank you and congratulations. My message is not going to be that much different than what Gloria. I do want to make a point. NHI is what you make it. See, NHI is not trying to fit into anything. And if NHI is the outcome of your imagination, whatever you make NHI is what NHI becomes. 43 years ago, Gloria and I felt, instead of trying to deal with all the problems associated with the Latino community, because that's the way we kind of took a look at Latinos, why don't we look at their assets? Why don't we look at their talent? Why don't we look at their promise? And why don't we create a stage where kids can develop themselves, their skills, their capacities, where they can develop the organization that they feel comfortable with and thrilled by to shape and direct in the future. Well, 42 years and 43 years have gone by. And I've seen NHI go from a little office with a desk and an answering phone to an organization that's both global and national and touching every region of this country. I think that's amazing. And you know what else? We've done it without government help. We've done it through this investments of people like our young people like yourselves. So what I look forward to is, what are you going to do to shape NHI next year and the following year and the next 10 to 15 years? I know that I started when I was 39, and I looked up one day and guess what? I was 80 years old, going 80 on 81. So I've invested 43 years of my life towards this ideal. And I love it because I don't have to run it anymore. Julio and Chris and Nicole and people like Tracy and Jorge are doing it now. And many others are NHRs. And many others will follow. I want you to be the next. I want you to be the people with the inspiration, with the idea. But it's not about copying their work. It's about reimagining the future. You see, the future of your children has yet to unfold. Keep that in mind. The future of the children that will follow you is yet to unfold. What kind of environment do you want for them? What kind of influence do you want to have in shaping that environment? Or do you want somebody else to do it for you? So you're the masters of your own future. And you've got to start now. You've got to wait, go through the learning processes, and communications, like the great debate, is a very important process. Learning how to communicate complex ideas. People are not going to understand you at first. You got to work on that part of yourself. Then you got to work on how do you take it from there to policy? How do you make it a community practice and belief system? How do you do that? By the time we reach 2050, we'll be 150 million people, fully the second largest ethnic community in the history of the United States. People will look like you and me. And then lastly, analytics. How do you analyze these critical human issues and challenges and opportunities? So NHI provides a launching pad for that. And then it connects you to universities and colleges. And then it provides you with the opportunities to come back and do what Jorge is doing and do what Bella is doing. What Julio, he was at the first New Mexico LDZ.
No, not the first one.
Well, in 2000, whatever he went there. But the point is that Chris has been with it since he was a kid. And now his daughters are participating. as volunteers. And that's the way it happens. So I expect you to come back for the rest of your life. We're not going to do this by only attending a program and saying, hey, thank you, goodbye. It doesn't happen that way. You've got to commit to the long haul, that long haul, whatever it requires, and come back momentarily or with more time, and also give money. I give money, Gloria gives money. This organization doesn't survive on air. It reads the investment of resources. So I'll just be honest about it. We are an outstanding organization throughout this country. And this weekend you're going to be performing what is so important. You're going to demonstrate why you were selected. You were selected for a reason, because you're a difference maker. You're going to be somebody who not only makes a difference in the lives of others, but changes the lives of others. Good luck. Thank your parents. Thank your schools. Thank your sponsors. Thank you for allowing us this moment. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you again, and I'll send you my bill with regards to my master haircutting skills. If you can believe it, when I had hair, I was quite the barber. I could cut people's hair. Well, so students, you see that the legacy and the responsibility and the opportunity is there for you. As I just want to reiterate some words that Gloria and Ernesto shared, is that the outcome is based on your imagination. And I love, and I've heard my father and Gloria speak many a times, but I always find inspiration in the words that they have to say, is that we must begin to reimagine, and that you are masters of your future. And Gloria and I were having a conversation yesterday, and she was sharing about the profound impact that she found herself at the age of 18, sitting on a board in the Rio Grande Valley down in McAllen. And she was like, at the time, I didn't know what I was doing. I just thought that I was giving my opinion. And I think as we reflect back, that is what's most important, is that you put yourself at the table to give your opinion and give your ideas, and begin to learn to use your words to craft really articulate, profound thoughts, ideas, and articulate them, in which it moves people to create action out in communities. And so this playground is yours, and we are not finished yet, because the debates of day one and day two are over, and we're going to switch to Athenium here shortly, but I'm sure that you would like to know who the matchups are. And I'm not going to announce them based on rank. I'm just going to announce the matchups, and then later on, either, and I'll talk with the tournament director, maybe tomorrow morning, we will post what that roadmap will look like to get to the finals. So that is to keep you on your seat and keep you coming back. So if I could have my Julio, if you can work with me here, I'm going to start off with team trial. And so our first matchup tomorrow will be from Corpus Christi, Brinkley Hopkins and Mia Barnes. So Corpus Christi, Brinkley Hopkins and Mia Barnes. And your opponents tomorrow will be from El Paso, Santiago Melendez and Nicole Otero. So congratulations to you all in our team trial matchup tomorrow. So from Corpus Christi, Brinkley Hopkins and Mia Barnes. And I had the opportunity to speak with them this morning. And I said, use today as merely learning how this game works. Refine, be ready to go. And your opponents, Santiago Melendez and Nicole Otero. And ladies and gentlemen, the top seed in this particular event from North Texas is Frida Gonzalez and Luke Santoni. So congratulations to Frida and Luke for being the top seed, and you all will have a bye the first round tomorrow, and you will be playing the winners of that first matchup between Brinkley, Mia, and Santiago and Nicole. So a big round of applause and that little reaction button there to our team trial matchups. Congratulations. Moving on to cross-examination, we had 4 teams participating. So this is gonna be heavy here. So our first matchup tomorrow in cross-examination will be from North Texas, Stuart Aldrete and Brian Gonzalez from North Texas. So Stuart Aldrete and Brian, let me see here, Brian Rodriguez from North Texas, and your opponents. Drum roll, please. I wish that little drum roll on there. Also from North Texas, Ariana Lugo and Iker Navarro. So from North Texas, Ariana Lugo and Iker Navarro, you all will be matched up tomorrow versus Stuart and Brian. So congratulations to our first matchup for tomorrow. And ladies and gentlemen, the second matchup tomorrow in cross-examination from Mexico, Julieta Paz and Cesar Franco from Mexico. So congratulations, Julieta and Cesar. And your opponents tomorrow will be from El Paso, Angelica Serna and Diego Meringer. So from Mexico, Julieta and Cesar versus El Paso, Angelica and Diego. Congratulations to you all in your matchups tomorrow in cross-examination. And obviously the winner of those two matchups will see you in the finals tomorrow. Moving on to extemporaneous speaking. Your first matchup tomorrow. From the Midwest, Isaac Lainez. So congratulations, Isaac or Isaac, for representing Midwest. And your opponent tomorrow in extemp will be from El Paso, Tara Gunter. So congratulations, Tara. So our first matchup will be Midwest versus El Paso. Isaac and Tara, congratulations to you all. The second matchup tomorrow in extemporaneous speaking will be from North Texas, Mark Violante. So congratulations, Mark. And your opponent will also be from North Texas, and that will be Gian Ruiz. So congratulations, Mark and Gian from North Texas. You all are the second matchup tomorrow. And ladies and gentlemen, your number one seed in extemporaneous speaking who will get a bye is Julian Rodriguez from El Paso. So congratulations to Julian for being the number one seed, and you will compete tomorrow in your matchup. Finally, moving on to oratory, your first matchup in oratory, and it is a full house of North Texas. Your first matchup will be Lillian Lucan from North Texas and Stephanie Flores, also from North Texas. So congratulations, Lillian and Stephanie. You all will be matched up tomorrow in oratory. Maybe you give each other dirty looks. Maybe you high five each other. I don't know, work together. Let's have a great competition tomorrow. And then your number one seed who will have a bye is also from North Texas, Victoria Myers. So congratulations to Victoria Myers from North Texas. And ladies and gentlemen, these are our matchups for all four events: team trial, cross-examination, extemp, and oratory. Let us give them a big round of applause inside of that chat section there. So very good. I see some of those in there. Thank you so much. I appreciate that feedback. Now, moving on what is the next step for you all now that we have our matchups. All right. Remember, there's still plenty of opportunities to find your road to the finals in presenting live. And Athenian will be presented live on our YouTube Live tomorrow after rounds one, after the finals for the 4 debate categories. Those will be streamed via Twitch. YouTube Live will have our Athenian presentation and then the announcements of our winners. Okay, so moving on, you all will be placed into Athenium. So the rest of this afternoon, you will be working with your Athenium director. And this gentleman is going to take you through a process. And how is this going to work? We've got 2 houses, House Magnolia and House Maxwell. Why Magnolia? That's where my dad grew up. That's where my grandmother was a park director at Desavella Park in Magnolia. And then House Maxwell, which is where NHI is located. We've got 2 different houses working to put their best team to represent their house on the finals tomorrow. You will be paired up on a pod of either 3 or 4 students. Oh, I love that, Julio. Thank you so much, Magnolia and House Maxwell. You will be paired up tomorrow, today, and you will be with students from other regions, or you may have someone from your own regions on your team. And I'm going to announce who the houses are and who the pods are. But I wanted to just give you an overview of what to expect from Athenium. Your challenge will be to create a media campaign wherein you imagine what the Latino community will look like post 2021. Your media campaign must promote a new social narrative for Latino youth of the future. And at the conclusion of your Athenium challenge, each pod will be asked to present a 5-minute presentation, digital presentation, in which it will be selected by the House members to represent themselves tomorrow in the finals. And to show you who your matchup, who your houses are, let me share my screen here with you. Your matchups will be, and for House Maxwell, you will notice over here, these will be your houses, and I will post these inside of the Discord there so that you have access to them. And then House Magnolia there. So may the best house win. And again, I will share this here. Every time you compete, you are giving points, and I cannot reiterate this enough. If you do choose not to participate, then your team will not be awarded points, because this program is so close that every point counts. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you, and I'm just going to introduce him really quickly, and then I'm going to turn it over to, where is my screen? Here we go. And I'm just going to introduce him really quickly, and then we are going to end this Zoom sessions. And students, you will have received a new Zoom link to join Julio inside of the Athenium Zoom room. But this individual participated in the 1997 New Mexico LDZ, and I was there and I remember him. He is from Lancaster, Pennsylvania, celebrating Puerto Rican and Guatemalan heritage, a former 3-time JFL intern, former CLN president, which is our Collegiate Leadership Network, and a member of HQ for over 15 years, working primarily with the East Coast and border communities, as well as NHI's education and training department. He received a master's in Latin American Studies and Philosophy from Boston University, his master's from St. Edward's University with a concentration of humanities. He is an assistant adjunct professor of humanities at Austin Community College, a musician, a board of the Puerto Rican Folklorico Dance and Cultural Center here in Austin for over 15 years, and a father of a great debate class of 2031, Sophia Regina, and married to El Pasoan and former director of the Mexico language program, Mayra Cortez Cotto, and a graduate of Isleta in El Paso. Ladies and gentlemen, your Athenium director is Mr. Julio Cotto. So Julio, I'll let you say quick words, and then we will end this. And students, you will find your Athenium link to go join Julio inside and begin the preparation for Athenium. Julio?
No, I'm just going to be real quick. I'm excited to get ready to work with everybody. Usually I've been watching Athenium for afar, so I'm excited that I get to dive in. And like you said, you know, we hear Ernie and Gloria all the time, and sometimes their messages are hitting and they didn't even know what you were going to say or what you were going to do. But I think what they presented is exactly what the challenge is they got to paint and shape the future. It's in their hands, it's in their control. And so Athenium is a game designed to do just that, to allow your brain and mind and creativity to play. Those of you who are CXers, you should have really good questions, way to push each other. Mock trial, you should be able to kind of frame a case, frame an argument. Extempors, you're the ones who are constantly having to think on your feet, be creative. And of course, oratory, you're going to bring that dreaming, that vision, that creativity, that imagination. So we're about to put it all back together, scrambled up in the Athenium room. And I believe, Chris, you're going to share the Zoom link. So I'm actually going to say goodbye so I can go open up that other room, and I'll see everybody in there and tomorrow at the finals.
Thank you, Julio. So just a recap for this afternoon. All students will be asked when we're finished here to join the Zoom Athenium. We'll be looking to make sure that everybody's in there. You are placed in houses, and I'll share again inside of the chat on which house you will be in. We'll reconvene at around 4:15. We'll kind of debrief for the day, and we'll finish a little early today to give you the opportunity to work with your Athenium team and refine your presentations for the single elimination tournament. So tomorrow, what's going to happen is we will reconvene at 9 o'clock. We'll open up. We will be dismissed to go finalize everything with Athenium. We'll allow our presentations. We'll make our selections, and then everybody immediately moves into the elimination rounds. And we're going to start a little bit earlier tomorrow for our finals because we've got that opportunity. And again, that will be shown through Twitch and YouTube Live. So at this time, I just want to thank again all of our volunteers, our project administrators, our head coaches, our fellows, tournament staff, tournament director, our president and founders, our co-founders, Gloria and Ernesto, and State Farm and the State Farm Foundation, and our digital host, which is CSU Pueblo. We will see you all here in just a bit at about 4:15. So at this time, students, let's go ahead and end. I'm going to post inside of Discord. You will see that the house has emerged for you inside of Discord. So that is how you know which house. And we've also paired you up with your team as your own channel so that you can communicate with your team throughout today and tomorrow. So I want to wish you all good luck in Athenium, and we'll see you all back here at around 4.